Joining us this morning is Annette McBride, and also Courtney Kellner. And Bill Shannon from the radio station informed me yesterday that he had a good interview that he could set up, and that would be with Annette and Courtney. And so we did that yesterday. So on last minute notice, Annette and Courtney have come in graciously. They have a fundraiser coming up for Courtney's son, Keaton, right?
Keaton, yes.
And I'm going to turn it over to you, Courtney. Tell us about your son. He's been very ill.
Yes. Keaton is our youngest of 3 children. We have 2 girls, they're 7 and 4. And then Keaton was born in September of 2012 and was supposed to be a normal, healthy, newborn son. However, from the time he was 4 weeks old and ongoing, we have found out that he is not quite so normal. He's actually a pretty extraordinary little boy. At 4 weeks, we thought he had some kind of a viral infection, and I took him to his pediatrician's office. And by the grace of God, this happened in front of her and not to me at home, but he turned blue on her. And he immediately was transported from the pediatrician's office to Rainbow's Babies and Children's Hospital for further evaluation. We were admitted for 4 days. They sent us home. We were home for about 36 hours, and then he was readmitted for another 4 days. And kind of left there with really no diagnosis other than they thought this was a bad luck kind of deal and a viral infection, and that it would probably never happen again. Keaton's now 21 months old. He's had 16 hospital admissions to date. He's had multiple surgeries. We travel back and forth to the Shaker Rehabilitation Hospital for Children in Shaker Heights, right outside of Cleveland, multiple times a week for a very specialized intensive therapy for Keaton.
Can I ask you, what kind of surgeries can they do?
He's had 2 what are called bronchoscopies, where they've gone down in his lungs with a camera to look and see what kind of lung damage he's had and to try to get a diagnosis, because a lot of his problems focus on his lungs. He now has chronic lung disease at 21 months old. His right middle portion of his lung has permanent scarring from all his aspiration of food. He's had an upper airway scoped. They were looking to make sure there were no holes in his upper airway going down into his lungs to cause his secretions and his food to go into his lungs. He had what's called an EGD, where they've gone down and looked into the stomach to see what kind of damage has occurred from reflux. In November, he had a 4.5-hour operation. It was supposed to be a 2-hour surgery. When they got in there, there was more damage than they had anticipated. They actually found a hole in his diaphragm, the muscle separating the lungs from the abdominal contents, and part of his stomach had slid through that hole and up underneath of his lungs. So they had to bring the stomach back down to where it belonged, close the hole, and then they had to do a procedure called a Nissen fundiplication, where they took the top part of his stomach and wrapped it around his esophagus to make a tight band so that what was supposed to stay in his stomach would stay in his stomach and stop going back up and into his lungs. And then at that time, they placed what's called a gastrostomy tube, which is how he gets 90% of his feeds at this point. Prior to that, he had what's called an NG tube, a small tube that my husband and I would feed down his nose into his stomach and feed him through that, but now he has a permanent one that's located in his stomach.
This is so unfair. Is there a name for what he has?
He has probably 20 different diagnoses.
Exactly.
We are still searching for the one large syndrome or condition that explains everything that's going on. He has a compromised immune system. He has tracheal malacia, he has bronchial malacia, he has reflux, aspiration, pneumonias, organic failure to thrive. His head is large in proportion to the rest of his body, so it's called macrocephaly. He really doesn't speak. He has a handful of words. He has signs, and he actually speaks with an iPad because cognitively he understands, but because of what's affecting the muscles that allow him not to eat safely, He's an outcome of that is he doesn't speak at an appropriate age level either. He's been through physical therapy for some problems with his left hip and his left leg. So we're still searching and traveling back and forth to the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital over and over and over again and going through more and more tests.
We're getting a phone call here. If you want to call back, if it's regarding this particular subject, you can call back 593-7181. But before that, if that caller does call back, I want to get to Annette. Annette, I'll take that call.
Okay.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hello, Pat. This is Michelle Gray.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
I hear you got Lily back, huh?
Yes, we do. We have Lily back.
Oh, congratulations. I was so proud to be able to say that this morning. Can you tell us real quick how that happened?
Well, it was a very long process. She was gone for 33 days out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
After the first week of searching, we realized that there was no way we could do this on our own. There was just too much area to cover. So we hired a dog tracker. And through her and her scent dog, every sighting that we had, we were able to positively identify if it was Lily or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last, one of the last ones, she was in Kingsville on 193. And she had gone down the tracks and into a wheat field. We were in that wheat field trying to push her out, and apparently she snuck by us all, went back into the woods, and we think down Mill Street, over to South Ridge again.
Yep.
And ended up down by that nature reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in that area when she was caught.
Okay. Okay. So when this all happened? Yesterday? Was it yesterday, Michelle?
Yes, it was yesterday that we had found her in, well, Amy had actually found her in the catch and release trap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I am so glad you got her back. I'm so glad that she's safe and sound, and well, it's quite a story. We kept announcing it every day here, and glad you got her back.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone for all their prayers and their watching out for her, and just all the help and the support that we got.
Very good. Enjoy, Lily. Have a good weekend, Michelle.
Oh, we will.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Michelle Gray, we got back that little miniature pincher that turned up missing 34 days ago now. Back to this story, and that you informed me a few days ago that there's a benefit coming up to help out the Kellner family. Can you tell us about it?
Absolutely. So New Leaf United Methodist Church in Conneaut is going to have a benefit dinner for Keaton on June 29th from 3 to 6.
Okay.
And it's a rigatoni dinner. Dave Jones, Crazy Dave's going to be doing the cooking for us. Awesome. Our tickets are $7 to get in. There's going to be a Chinese auction. There's going to be a bake sale. And we do have gluten-free items as well. Keaton's Courtney's little girl needs gluten-free, and so they're very aware of that.
Sure.
So they've got other things going on as well, other than Keaton with food, and so they're very aware of that. So we're able to offer that.
Yeah.
We just, as you can tell from her story, that having a sick child is just an incredible, stressful thing. And this family, they both work, they have insurance, and but it doesn't cover everything. And because he doesn't have a specific diagnosis, there's not a group that can help him. It's not diabetes, it's not cystic fibrosis. Even in doing this benefit, I had made a few calls to a few organizations to find out, how can we do a benefit? Is anybody able to help us do a benefit? And again, he didn't fit under any specific category. So we were pretty much on our own to do this. Andrew and Courtney do not qualify for assistance because they both work and they have insurance. But that doesn't mean that medical bills
Or transportation.
and transportation and gas and
Now you're affiliated with the church, right?
I am a member of the church, yes. And Andrew and Courtney are as well. So we are members of the church.
So you just became involved because of your affiliation
Yes.
with the church?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Do you work at the church? Or
No, I'm just a member of the
Okay.
church. So
Could you tell us where the church is located? It's the one right behind McDonald's, right?
yes, it's at 283 Buffalo Street.
Okay.
So yes, we're right across from McDonald's. Also across from the library
Yes,
as well
yes.
in Conneaut.
Okay.
Yes,
Great. And this is a rigatoni dinner.
it's rigatoni's.
And
yes.
the price is not expensive.
No,
And
not
I think
at
you
all.
have carryouts too, don't
We
you?
do. We offer carryouts as well.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so you may see signs a little bit around the area. If you're not able to make the benefit and people want to make donations, a fund has been set up through First Merit Bank, and those donations can be made to the Keaton Kellner Benevolent Fund. The origin account is in Jefferson, but they have notified the other branches that about the fund so that donations can be made there.
While we're sitting here talking to Courtney and that, if anybody would like to pledge any money to help out the Keaton's family, you're more than welcome to call in and do it on air, and that certainly would be appreciated if you can do that. I know times are tough, but I can't imagine the expenses that the Kellner family has to go through with this situation.
Of course, you'll be promoting this all week, and
Yeah,
the dinner is a week from Sunday, correct?
Correct.
The
yes.
29th,
The 29th, right.
From 3 to...
From 3 to 6.
Are you gonna be able to
yes.
be there, Courtney?
God willing, that he's
Yeah.
not in the hospital, we will
Yeah,
be there and Keaton
yeah.
will be there, but unfortunately we never know when
Never know.
that hospital admission's gonna happen.
What about you, Annette?
I will be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are you gonna be serving food?
Probably. I'll probably be doing a little bit of everything. Setting up, cleaning up,
Right,
marking
right.
things.
Yeah. Have you got a pretty good response so far? Of course, this just came up to my attention here in the last week or so, but have people been buying tickets, or if there are tickets to buy?
Yes, we have been selling tickets at church. So people have bought tickets at church, and people have been, very generous. I haven't yet taken only $7 for a ticket, so people have been very generous.
Really?
And I know that there are a few individuals of the church that have taken tickets and they've sold some in advance.
Okay.
I've sold a few myself as well.
Mhm.
So yes, absolutely. And we just ask people to get the word out in this world of public media. Text your friends, tweet your friends, email. Please come out and support this family. I had my own situation many years ago, and I know as a parent of a sick child that it's just incredible to, first of all, watch your child be ill and go through whatever, and then taking care of your child and trying to be strong, and then trying to be strong for your other children, and then trying to be a parent as well, and trying to make things as normal as possible.
Sure.
And sometimes you think you're being normal, but then you're not. And then trying to just make ends meet and so on and so forth. My situation was 10 years ago. Insurance was very different back then.
Yeah.
And I didn't have these issues.
You had a sick child?
I did. I didn't have these issues that they have. Things have changed, so they're going through a great deal, and we just we need to help this family and this little boy. It's just extremely important to do what we can.
I really think it's great that the church has undertaken this project. I know you have gone around with the posters, or I think you call them posters, flyers,
Fire.
to different businesses, hoping to gather support.
Right.
You're not asking for money, you're just asking to
No,
put the flyers
absolutely
up.
not. We're not asking for money. Although I can say that there are some businesses. When I walk in the door and I say, I tell them about the benefit, and they want to donate. They want to donate something, and that's been just fabulous.
Well, knowing kind as we do, this city will come through.
Right,
Believe me.
right.
It will come through.
So
I guarantee you.
They are great. We have a great town that does support things, and I'm
not to
sure
worry about
after
that.
your appearance
Right.
here that they will be there to help you out. I'm sure of that. Now, Courtney, is Keaton home now?
He is home. A lot of his care is done by my husband and I at home, and we kind of have parameters from all his specialists that when it gets past this point, that you bring him to the emergency room and know he's going to be admitted. So it's really hard to be a parent and also being his caregiver, because we have to do things to him that you just don't want to have to do to your child. For example, when he had his NG tube, having to hold your 7-month-old child down and insert a medical tube into him just for him to be able to feed and grow. He's on so many different medications daily. Some of them are inhaled for his lungs, some of them go into his G tube. He has to be fed through his tube throughout the day, so 3 to 4 times during the daytime hours I have to block out a half an hour plus of my day to feed him, and then he gets fed all night while he sleeps through a special pump. Our house looks like a miniature hospital at this point. We have an IV pole, we have feeding pumps, we have equipment, we have his specialized food. He can't be on like a regular formula. The food he receives is an amino acid based food, so there's no chance of him developing an allergy to it. We have his breathing machine, he has a pulse ox that measures his oxygen level, and these are all things that we've just taken on as parents and do every single day in his routine care, that being somebody probably looking in from the outside on us doing it, you would wonder how it happens, and some days I wonder how we make it happen. As I said, we have the 2 other girls, and the things that they've just learned to accept as normal is amazing.
Wow,
Yeah.
you really go into a lot. You really are. I appreciate you girls coming in. If you want to come back next week to giving us an update on it, you're more than welcome to do that.
absolutely.
All you gotta do is get a hold of me and that.
Okay.
And because we like to make sure that you have a good turnout for the 29th. And God bless you both. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please come and support this family. Again.
Go over the date.
Yeah, again, it's on June 29th from 3 to 6 at New Leaf United Methodist Church. It's across the street from McDonald's and the library. And again, please come out and support this family and this little boy. They really need our help.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.